So I think it's a great gesture from Qatar. I appreciate it very much. I would never be one to turn down that kind of an offer. I mean, I could be a stupid person and say, no, we don't want a free, very expensive airplane.
Thanks again for stopping by and hanging out with your host, the Conservative Bird, and his co-host, me, Double D, and you're on the Brick Road Podcast.
Hey, welcome back, everybody. We really do appreciate you guys stopping by and hanging out with us tonight. We have some good ones for you, actually. We got Trump, and it seems like he's trying to either broker deals or bring peace all over the world, whether it benefits the United States or not. It seems like he's trying to do more good than bad around the world. And that's what it seems like to me. Double D, I don't know. What does it seem like to you?
That said, peace equals prosperity.
Yeah.
And I believe that's exactly what he's trying to do. He's trying to broker peace throughout the whole world. That's what he's trying to. Everybody, the libs want to think he's trying to broker money for the billionaires. This has nothing to do with the billionaires.
Nothing.
Billionaires are still people. They're not above being human. So whatever happens to society happens to them too.
Without a doubt.
So the bottom line is this man's trying to save our country, I think, first and foremost.
I think the people that hate billionaires are jealous that they don't have the mindset to be able to make that happen for themselves and create generational wealth for their families.
90% of the time it's a we hate them because we ain't them type thing.
Yeah, without a doubt.
And that's where they're at.
So. You know the thing I like about today's show, though? We get to show you both sides of him trying to broker peace and also broker prosperity for the United States. And the peace part doesn't even really have nothing to do with the United States. It's more so of what's going on in South Africa right now. Now, this is wild to me, right? I heard about this a couple of years ago, and you're going to see the video here in a minute, of South African, it seems like leaders, right? Are they in the? I've seen military personnel for sure.
Oh yeah, that one video that we were watching earlier today. That pretty much was a military rally, almost Hitler-esque in a way. Just the only difference, there was a bunch of black folks instead of a bunch of German white folks.
And they're literally calling for the unaliving of white farmers in South Africa. And it's funny that we're going to show you here in a second. Trump shows the president of South Africa these videos, and he acts like he never seen them before, but I'm pretty sure he was at one of these rallies.
I'm pretty sure he was in that one video that we've seen. I mean, we'd have to watch it closely, but I know there's no way he didn't know that filled the stadium.
No, not at all.
How do you fill the whole entire soccer stadium and then try to act like you don't know what they're saying?
Exactly.
But just for our viewers so they understand, kill the Boer. Basically, this is what it means. It's what Afrikaners refer to, meaning as farmers. So it doesn't necessarily have to be white farmers per se,
right? But this is what they're using it for in this aspect.
Historically, it's supposed to refer to the members of Dutch and Huguenot populations that pretty much settled in South Africa back in the late 17th century,
which are white.
Yes, which were white. And literally, kill the Boer means kill the farmer. And
it's crazy because
kill the white farmer.
In the United States, if we flipped that narrative and said that about other races and the white people wanting to do that to people, oh man, we would get all kinds of heat and backlash. We would have protesters at our door. We would have politicians calling for our heads. Everything, dude. But it's like, it doesn't make sense, like, how this is a thing that is possibly allowed, allowed to be a thing in any country.
Well, South Africa does have a history of apartheid. But the real hardcore apartheid actually started after World War II in 1948. Prior to that, yeah, there was settling going on. There was violence. I mean, South Africa is a violent country to begin with,
right?
And we're gonna discuss that a little bit later. But the point being is, it's very violent. It's very third world too. There are some. Cape Town is beautiful. Johannesburg is beautiful.
Right, for sure. You're going to have your nice parts. I don't even want to
say beautiful because really their ghettos look worse than what you'd find in San Juan.
Oh, dude, believe me, I've seen it before. I've seen videos about that stuff.
Their ghettos are worse than the worst in our Latin countries. So I mean, we're talking about a country that's very third world, not only in mentality but in reality.
So the feeling I'm getting is Trump has a similar feeling to how we're feeling about this. He actually hosted the South African president today. So let's check it out. Let's see what they had to say.
Turn the lights down. Turn the lights down and just put this on. It's right behind you. Johan.
Look how he's smiling right now.
Can do with or without you, people are going to occupy land. We require no permission from you, from the president, from no one. We don't care. We can do whatever you want to do. Who are you to tell us whether we can occupy land or not? We are going to occupy land. South Africa occupy land. That's who we are. Can we draw my membership from this useless parliament? Yes, honorable member. Must never be scared to kill. A revolution demands that at some point there must be killing, because the killing is part of a revolutionary act. Shoot to kill. Namaza. Kill the poor, the farmer. Kill the poor, the farmer. The man of DJ in PE is a white man. So these people really want to hit them hard, go after a white man. They feel a terrible pain because they touched a white man. Not because Pajama and Soli will not be touched. They will be touched, no one. But we are starting with this whiteness. We are cutting the throat of whiteness.
How is this allowed? How could the president not be upset about this? People saying something about this, regardless of the color of their skin, about people of their own country saying this about people of the same country. It makes zero sense to me, right? Imagine, and I want to explain to people really quick the difference too between what's going on between millions and millions and millions and millions and millions of unvetted illegals flooding our country and less than 100 South Africans coming to our country. They don't have military personnel wanting to commit murder against them. That it's not happening. They might have cartels, but those are people in their country. And if they cared about it, they would do something about it.
And when you do dirty work and deal drugs, there's a price that comes with that. And sometimes that price is your life or prison.
Bro, I'm sorry. This is crazy to me that this is even allowed to be said.
Yeah, I mean, the only comparison, I don't even know why the liberal media is trying to compare that. First of all, they're complaining about 58 white refugees from South Africa. They were farmers who were basically kicked off their land.
Right. Families are being tortured.
They can't do anything else either because they really don't know how to do anything else. That's what they do. That's their livelihood.
It's wild, bro.
He granted 58 refugees from South Africa. Well, Joe Biden let in 10 million. 10 million. Let's get that number in comparison. Liberal media, mainstream media, MSNBC. I like to refer to them as MSBS, but that's besides the point. But they want to complain about 58. Well, what about the 10 million lunatics they let cross the border?
Right.
They gave them free housing, free hotels, free food, and now we're giving them $1,000 to leave.
The illegals are bringing over fentanyl, trafficking humans, murdering people, raping, dude, all kinds of crazy stuff. These people are bringing over American flags and waving them proudly and glad that our country's willing to do something for them. The difference is these people come here illegally and do it the right way, wrong way. These people are doing it the right way and are embracing our country. There is a big difference. When you flee a country, you shouldn't be proud to be from that country. I'm sorry. That should not be something of pride, or else you would have stayed in that country. If you're not proud of your country, why are you fleeing it?
That's what I was saying. If Venezuela's so great, then why did you leave? If El Salvador is so great, then why are you coming here?
I'm sorry,
if
it's
Mexico
illogical.
is so awesome, why are they crossing the border? Now, Mexicans, I kind of get it. They cross the border for work and then go back home. That's a border thing. People in Canada and New York do that all the time. Canada and Minnesota, Puerto Rico, and the Dominican and Florida. I mean, I'm cool with all that. You know what I'm saying? That's commerce, that's business, that's keeping the flow of economics rolling. But flooding the borders with 10 million people who are just coming here to freeload, and now they're going to complain about 58 people from South Africa.
I'm cool.
That's if they weren't white, the mainstream liberal would have no problem with it. Trust me.
So we'll get back into this. Trump lets him know, though. You'll see.
He does.
The brewer, the farmer, the brewer, the farmer. Shoot to kill. Come on, sir.
This is sad. This is pathetic. This is beyond sad. This is pathetic.
Damn stadium, man.
I don't know what's going to happen in the future. I'm saying to you, was not called for the killing of white people, at least for now. I can't guarantee the future.
Yeah, but, I mean, you understand somebody watching that, especially as it gets shared on Twitter, they freak out. It sounds like a genocide.
I can't take it.
You see how he's getting a little bit uncomfortable? He's like, I don't know if I like this. I wasn't ready for this.
Should have been prepared for it because he knows what's going on.
He knew what was going on. He knew Trump knew all about this.
He was all smiles, shits, and giggles until he started hearing that tape rolling. At first, he thought he was getting. At first, he probably thought he was getting ready to watch The Deer Hunter or some shit.
He's the one.
Instead,
he knows. He knows
got
Trump.
The Boer Hunter in his own country. Instead.
He knows that Trump brought those people from South Africa to America, so he knows that Trump knows.
So you know what? I figured it out. That's why he's here. Cyril Ramaphosa is here to kiss Trump's ass. That's all this is about.
Yeah, because he doesn't want Trump to go to backlash against him. It makes a lot of sense. But hey, they say that let the liberal media and the Democrats tell you that we're the weak ones, but we seem to have all the power going right now. I don't know about what you guys see, but it seems like we're getting things done in our favor.
There is one thing I do agree with the Democrats about. The rhino mainstream Republicans are weak and cowardly.
Oh, they're weak, very weak.
We have a growing libertarian Republican class taking over Washington, D.C., and within this decade, we are going to wash the rhinos away. They're going to be voted out.
Yep.
We're going to start primarying them. And remember this, America, the elections start again in 26.
Yep.
We need to start primarying some of the rhinos out and start putting some better candidates in there.
Yep.
Because these guys are just as used as the Democrats. Chuck Schumer and Mitch McConnell
are one and the same.
The only difference between the two is that Chuck Schumer only freezes up when somebody calls him out on TV.
No, I honestly think the only difference is an R and a D in front of their names.
Well, that too. But the only time I see Chuck Schumer freeze up is when he's called out. Mitch McConnell don't even have to be called out. All I can do is put him in front of a crowd. He's like,
yeah, he looks like a sea turtle, not knowing what to do.
Yeah, it's like, dude, I mean, enough with the geriatric mafia. I'm serious. We need to primary these people out. Nancy Pelosi's got to go. Schumer's got to go. McConnell, he's got to go.
Yep.
And any of those other old bastards in there, like Ted Grassley.
Man, we need to get rid of what's his name too. We need to get rid of Mike Pence.
Oh yeah, but well, Yes. I mean, I wouldn't call him the geriatric mafia.
He's like on board. He's borderline.
Yeah, he's still got to go though, because I don't like him.
Yeah, I don't like him either. All right,
And
let's
I
get.
think most libertarian Republicans, and keep in mind that's what we are. That's what we are, Bird. We really aren't Republicans.
No.
We are libertarian,
Yeah.
right of center Republicans, but we're not these weak, pathetic, go along, play by the rules, play the Washington D.C. game type.
Nope.
That's why I love Nancy Mace. That's why I love Kristi Noem.
Yeah.
That's why I love guys like J.D. Vance and Byron Donalds, Jim Jordan. These guys are soldiers. Tim Scott he'll even stand up. He's kind of borderline, but
He's borderline rhino.
He's borderline rhino, but I'm still going to give him a little.
He's not the worst.
He still has his libertarian card.
Yeah.
He still has it for the time being.
For sure. All right, let's get back on topic.
It's all military, dude.
Yeah, it's wild.
Who will expropriate land without compensation, whether they like it or not. If they object, they can seek a refugee in America.
Now this is very bad. These are burial sites right here.
Yeah, that's wild. He said there's 1,000 burials.
1,000
What?
of white
That's
farmers.
crazy.
And those cars are lined up to pay love on a Sunday morning. Each one of those white things you see is a cross. And there's approximately 1,000 of them. They're all white farmers, the family of white farmers. And those cars aren't driving, they're stopped there to pay respects to their family member who's killed. And it's a terrible sight. I've never seen anything like it. Both sides of the road, you have crosses.
That's wild. I'm sorry. That's crazy to me.
And this guy, that's why he's here, man.
Yeah.
He's here to kiss Donald Trump's ass. He's like, oh man, they got a new leader, and this guy's not going to be happy about what's going on. So let's do some damage control and lie.
Exactly.
He's trying to act like he doesn't know what's going on. And you got PBS over here trying to say that it's fake news.
Right.
But they don't. But they don't say it in the article. They say it in the headline.
No.
Look what the headline says.
The headline says fact-checking Trump's claim of white farmer genocide in South Africa. So they're going to.
Is this the PBS? Yeah, this is the PBS. ABC. Oh,
No,
okay.
This is the PBS one.
Yeah, PBS. Okay, all right. So they basically make it sound like that, and they literally, well, let it play for them. They'll see.
Yep.
When a reporter asked May 12th why he created an expedited path for Afrikaners, Trump said, because they're being killed. And we don't want to see people be killed. But it's a genocide that's taking place that you people don't want to write about. Trump added, white farmers are being brutally killed and their land is being confiscated in South Africa. Trump has shared versions of this narrative since 2018, as have others in his orbit, including Elon Musk, a Trump advisor from South Africa. Trump's decision about resettling Afrikaners was a reversal. He suspended all U.S. refugee admissions after taking office. The South African government criticized Trump's February 7th executive order on allowing Afrikaner resettlement in the U.S. It is ironic that the executive order makes provision for refugee status in the U.S. for a group in South Africa that remains amongst the most economically privileged, while vulnerable people in the U.S. from other parts of the world are being deported and denied asylum despite real hardship.
Who cares?
The statement said. South African President Cyril Ramaphosa is slated to visit the White House on May 21st.
Which we just seen he
White
did.
farmers have been murdered in South Africa. But those murders account for less than 1% of more than 27,000 annual murders nationwide. Experts said the deaths do not amount to genocide, and Trump misleads about land confiscation.
But
He's not
here's
misleading about the land confiscation. That's actually happening quite a lot. Land, except for the very extremely wealthy elites.
how
That is actually happening. Farmers
So-
are being kicked off their land.
if they're literally killing people because they're white farmers, right? And isn't that technically a genocide just because they're doing it just because they're white?
Well, they're literally targeting a group of farmers, a farming class of white farmers. So yeah, that would. I mean,
I don't know the rules.
I mean, how do you? Okay, let's say it's not.
What
a
are the
genocide.
what are the rules
We'll
of
just-
genocide?
We'll just say that it's a serial killing of white farmers. How about that? How
I'm
about
fine with
Would
that.
Would the liberal media like that?
I'm fine with that.
They're serial killers. So there you go. Now they can start. White liberal women can start sending them letters in the mail to
Right,
to their prisons
exactly.
wanting to marry them now.
Exactly,
The
exactly.
craziness never ends, dude.
So Double
It just
D,
never
right?
ends.
So tell me why this is the president of South Africa, right?
Yeah, Cyril Ramaphosa.
And they decide after he shows him that video, and he also showed him a lot of articles of different situations where South African white farmers are being murdered for no other reason than being white farmers, and that's it.
Well, they want the land. It's a land
Yeah,
grab.
right.
The truth be told, Bird, I mean, the people who are dying are the ones who are refusing to leave.
Right.
Most people have been leaving with their lives in fear. Those 58 farming class people that came here to America, they're here because there's nothing else they can do but farm. They don't know anything else.
It's
but
wild.
their land was taken away from them.
So-
They weren't personally murdered.
So
They
why
were still kicked off their property.
why is the first question that the liberal media decided to ask them after he shows him these videos and these articles? They ask him about a plane that Saudi Arabia gave him. Like, that has anything to do with anything going on in this current situation right here.
I think I have a reason why the liberal media asks those questions.
I know the reason too, but what's your reason?
It's simple. They're stupid.
Well, that's
They're just stupid. They're not good reporters.
that's the simple
They're
way of
horrible
it.
reporters.
That's
Yeah.
the simple way of looking at it. I look at it like this. They don't want Trump to tell the truth. They know he's telling the truth,
Oh,
and they don't want,
absolutely.
and they want to spin it in the most way possible for him to look terrible in the situation. So they try to get you in a gotcha moment. Trump doesn't let them do that, though. We already
No,
know how
he-
he is with the media.
Trump
I could
made
watch.
him-
I've watched this
Trump-
10 times, and I've laughed every time.
Yeah, Trump made him his bitch. That's what happened. And,
So-
and you know what? And I'm glad because they need to go after ABC. They need to go after PBS.
Yeah, and
They
honestly,
need to go. Trump needs to just go after all of them because here's the truth, dude. Whether the mainstream media likes it or not, they're only preaching to about 15% of the country now.
for
when it
sure,
comes-
nobody
they're
cares what they
act-
say anymore.
Nobody watches them
No
anymore.
one. No one.
80% of the country gets their news from alternate, for the most part, talk radio.
Yeah.
It's always been that way since Rush Limbaugh.
Yeah.
The great Rush Limbaugh
So here.
created an offside media market
Yeah.
to compete with the mainstream media,
Yep.
and we're winning,
Yeah.
whether they like it or not.
R.I.P.
Talk radio
Rush.
is winning. Podcasts are winning. Conservative talk shows are winning. And why? Because people are sick and tired of being lied to. They're
Right.
sick and tired of being told how to think, what to think, where to think. And I love how they call us the cult.
So
We're
this
the cult members. We're
this-
the cult members. I'd say get a spoon and eat my ass, liberals.
this clip right here is classic 2016 2019 Trump right here. I'll show you guys what we're talking about.
The Pentagon announced it would be accepting a Qatari jet to be used as Air Force One.
What are you talking about? What are you talking about? You know, you can get out of here. What does this have to do with the Qatar jet? They're giving the United States Air Force a jet, okay? And it's a great thing. We're talking about a lot of other things. It's NBC trying to get off the subject of what you just saw. You are a real, you're a terrible reporter. You don't have what it takes to be a reporter. You're not smart enough. But for you to go into a subject about a jet that was given to the United States Air Force, which is a very nice thing. They also gave $5.1 trillion worth of investment in addition to the jet.
Beautiful.
Go back. You ought to go back to your studio at NBC because Brian Roberts and the people that run that place, they ought to be investigated. It's so terrible the way you run that network. And you're a disgrace. If the news wasn't fake like NBC, which is fake news, totally, one of the worst, ABC, NBC, CBS.
I love it.
But if they weren't fake news like this, jerk.
Like this jerk. Listen,
dude.
We might listen. I'm gonna let you guys know something, right? We're not even 6 months into it, right? I really think when it comes to how Trump handles the media, we are going to get the best version of Trump. We are going to get the funniest. We are going to get one of the most comedic versions of Trump handling the media.
And the most badass Trump.
And they deserve every single bit of it. That dude is a jerk. Who asks a question like that has nothing to do with what is going on right now. What is going on right now is something in South Africa where a group of people, because of the color of their skin, are getting slaughtered. And that is what's going on.
The question that reporter should have been asking is, hey, Cyril, what the hell are you doing here for?
Yeah.
'Cause I still want to know. We never find that out.
No.
And we've watched the whole thing already, so we already know.
We don't know why he's here. We don't. We literally don't know why he's here.
He's here, other than the kiss the ring of the king.
Yeah.
That's the only thing I can figure. Because, I mean, look at him, dude. He's pathetic.
Yeah.
Look at that guy.
And
that guy, that's the leader of South Africa. No wonder they're running around screaming, kill the Boer.
Yeah, they don't know what else to do.
Well, dude, if you look at the reality of South Africa, most of the murders committed are black on black murders, dude.
It's crazy.
Dude, that really is the fact. So he can't even control. I mean, this guy's wow.
I don't
look
get
at
it.
him, dude.
Yeah,
he's just he's part of the privileged class, and he could care less. You know, and if he's here just because we opened the door for 58, by the way, that was it.
Ain't
not
nothing.
2,058, not 58,000, 58 human beings who happen to
less
be
than
good
100,
at
bro.
farming. Who happen to be good at farming.
Bro, it's less than
And
100.
Guess what we need? And you know what we need in America right now, Bird?
Farmers.
Farmers. Thank you.
That we have here. If we had real reporters, they'd be covering it. But the fake news in this country doesn't talk about that. They don't want to talk about it, but now they have to talk about it. But they won't. This won't even be a subject. They'll have him talking about why did a country give a free, think of this, why did a country give an airplane to the United States Air Force? Okay? The United States, not to me, to the United States Air Force.
They act like they gave it to Trump himself, said, here, this is your plane. No, they gifted it to America, the country, which means when Trump's not president anymore in 3 years and 8 months?
3 years and 8 months.
7 months, whatever it is. He's not on it no more. The next president's on it now.
That's right.
How do you guys? Are people so brainwashed that they can let the liberal media spin a narrative like this and really make you guys think that it's real? You guys are so gullible. It is ridiculous.
The Democratic Party, they're selling a product now to what's left of their pathetic audience.
Yeah.
And when I say pathetic, these people watch CNN, ABC, MSNBC. They watch all these guys
dye their hair blue or pink every other day. Play with their nose ring.
If they spent as much time to actually sit down and read an article once in a while as they do getting brainwashed for 30 minutes at a time
Yep.
by the same talking point over and over and over again, just different people saying it.
Yep.
Dude, they would actually have a good argument, but they can't form one because they don't have one, because they're just brainwashed cult members. The Democratic Party is a cult.
It's true.
It is.
It's
And they
true.
want to call us weird. I'm sorry.
I think
I have not
listen.
met a single libertarian that wants to cut off his dick and paint his
Here's
hair
my
blue.
thing, right? When somebody calls you weird, especially these liberals, these Democrats, consider the source. Just consider the source, and you got your answer.
Tampon Timmy. That's all you got to say. It says it right there. I mean, as soon as you picture Tim Waltz in your head, you picture some little fruitcake fat boy running around Minnesota putting tampons in boys' bathrooms.
So they
It's
can
very
help us
true.
out, because we need an Air Force One until our Sets Air Force One is being built. 2 of them being built. But Boeing's a little bit late, unfortunately. So why did they give us a plane to the United States Air Force? That's what that idiot talks about after viewing a thing.
I'm sorry, I don't have a plane to give you.
Yeah, you better kiss his ass like
Plane
that.
the next time.
If you're
That's Trump telling. Trump's about to tell him, yeah, next time bring one.
offered the United States Air Force a plane, I would take it.
Okay.
Goddamn right.
And
Okay.
so, if you guys don't know what they're talking about, Saudi Arabia gave Trump a plane when he went over there to broker a deal.
Yeah, the trade agreement. This is
was-
his reward for brokering a $7 trillion trade agreement.
and it's
right?
not
Or
even
$4
for
trillion.
him. This is America's reward for. This
Yeah.
is giving America a gift. We'll let them tell you a little bit about
He
it.
gave it to
The
our
United
military.
States has officially accepted a Boeing 747-8 luxury jetliner as a gift from the Qatari government, and the Air Force has been tasked with upgrading it to be used as a new plane for President Trump, according to an Air Force spokesperson. The spokesperson, who spoke on the condition of anonymity as they were not authorized to speak publicly about the matter, told NPR that the Air Force is currently preparing to award a contract to modify a Boeing 747 aircraft for an executive airlift, saying further details about the contract are classified. The plane, worth hundreds of millions of dollars, is a gift that Trump said he would be stupid to turn down,
Very rightfully
suggesting that
so.
it could be converted quickly to be ready for use as the presidential aircraft.
Oh, rightfully so. Rightfully so. And just so we're clear, just in case nobody knows, Trump went over to Saudi Arabia more recently, within the past, I want to say, week and a half, 2 weeks, and brokered a deal with the prince for Boeing and got them to invest, what was it, $3.4 trillion?
$4 trillion, yeah. It was
Yeah,
almost
yeah.
$4 trillion.
It was like something close to $4 trillion into the United States, and also gifted them a new Air Force One. If you guys didn't know about it, here, we'll show you some pictures of it right now. So this is the cockpit. Yeah, look at this cockpit. This is beautiful.
Oh, 747 too. I didn't even realize that. It's a 747 Boeing.
Yeah, for sure. So,
And that's the cockpit. And that
there we
there.
go. Here's the interior, and this is like the staircase and just a little chill spot right there. Probably right in the, this looks like it would be like in the middle of the plane, most likely. Or maybe the
cool.
back end. So this is the bedroom, dude. Look at that beautiful bedroom. That is
Dude, I can crash
beautiful.
there. I
That
can
is
crash
a
there.
beautiful bedroom. Right here we have the, this looks like a a bathroom right here. Also, this is another primary bedroom. Dude, this is amazing that they gave
That
this to
bedroom
him.
looks like an office almost.
Right. Here
like,
goes-
Like if you're, depending on what side you're sitting on, you can make it look like an office or a bedroom.
Right, we got some other pictures right here too. This looks like just kind of a little chill spot for everybody. Maybe like a living room or a dining room or something.
That's like a lobby, yeah, like a lobby or.
This could be like,
hangout
this
lobby.
looks like oh, this is a conference room. Yeah, rightfully
Yeah,
so,
that's
with
a
the table.
conference room.
That looks really
sure.
cool. Here you go. Here's a better picture of
That
that.
is-
That's a better picture. That looks
Yeah, that stairwell is
amazing.
badass. ain't
That
it?
ceiling is amazing, dude. That is
Yeah.
awesome, bro. Like, I am not mad. And if you guys want to see, let's see. I'm pretty sure we got a picture of it. Some of the actual jet. Yeah, right here. Wow. This is the actual jet, the backside of it. So they gave us this as a sign of gratitude, right?
Yeah.
For Trump brokering such a great deal with Saudi Arabia. He's been winning all over, dude. He's been winning everywhere. after the deal with China, India, this. I'm telling you, man, this dude is getting stuff done and making it happen.
I'd be surprised if Cyril Ramaphosa goes back to South Africa and says, hey, we got to stop killing the white farmers. And oh, by the way, we need to buy a Boeing 747. Too.
Right, yeah, for the United States.
we gotta give it to the president of the United
Hey,
States.
you know what would be a boss move, though? If Trump said, hey, you got to build it in the United States.
Well, they wouldn't be able to build it in South Africa. They don't have shit there.
No.
As far as they're in. I mean, they have minerals for the industry.
They got diamonds and stuff.
Yeah, but just like the rest of Europe and the rest of them, they sold out their manufacturing to China too. So it is what it is.
So we got a little bit right here about it. Here goes Trump. This is just basically a little walkthrough he did with the Prince of Saudi Arabia. It's a pretty cool scenery, actually. I like the way Saudi Arabia looks. I just like the desert look with like the nice huge towers and stuff like that.
Dude, that's a beauty. I mean, they got it going on over there, man.
It really is. It looks nice.
President Donald Trump got a warm welcome in Saudi Arabia Tuesday, even before Air Force One landed. It was accompanied on the way into Riyadh by several Saudi Arabian F-15s in a ceremonial honor escorting him into the royal airport. They literally rolled out the purple carpet for the president.
Bro, look at that street. That looks amazing.
Dude, that is awesome. Look at all those American flags.
I love it, dude. Like, to me, this is a sign of respect. You know what I'm saying?
You do. You know, it's crazy, but I don't think Trump's just president of the United States. I think Trump
is president of the world.
The true
leader of the free world.
Of the free world, yeah.
1,000%.
And the unfree world as it's starting to look.
Yeah, because it seems like the people that are stuck in, I don't know, what would you call it? I guess like purgatory or something, you know what I mean? They wave American flags.
All I know is he's got the Midas touch because everything he does turns to gold now. And I know it pisses the libs off more than anything because no matter how they try to spin it, Trump's still going to win it.
Yep.
And he was greeted by the Saudi Arabian Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman, who's the prime minister and de facto ruler of Saudi Arabia, who's become a very close friend and partner of President Trump, particularly in the second term. And they spent the better part of the day together from ceremonial coffees and teas.
I think they said Trump ended up staying there like an extra day, right?
Yeah, something like that. He stayed an extra day. Yeah, he really enjoyed the... Trump, that's kind of, he's not a drinker. He's not a partier.
No, he's
Trump, he's a formal guy who really enjoys formal, situations, and he's good at it.
Yeah.
I mean, he's really good at it. So why not?
Right.
You know what? I'd rather him stay for an extra day there and, and solidify a trade agreement than Joey B going over to Italy and shitting his pants.
1,000%.
An extended luncheon, meetings with business leaders on investments, and concluding the day with a smaller and more intimate state dinner at a UNESCO heritage site here in Riyadh. And the pageantry in a moment like this is in some ways the message, but it also serves to highlight how the U.S. Has moved closer to Saudi Arabia over the last several months with President Donald Trump back in the White House, and how valuable the president sees this partnership with Saudi Arabia being to carrying out his regional and global ambitions.
I like it. I'm not mad at it. Now, to me, the way that guy seemed to spin the narrative was just honest. He seemed to be being honest about what was really going on. But we already know how the liberal media is going to want to spin it.
Here it comes. Yeah, this is going to be completely opposite what y'all just watched.
This is going to be, it's all about Trump. It's because he wants this and he wants that. He wants this and he wants to do that. It's all what he wants. When they don't realize what he's doing is for the betterment of the country.
Yeah, I don't understand why they don't get it, dude. I don't get it. Why they really do act like Trump is against the people? He is the first leader we have had since
Reagan?
I mean, honestly, in my lifetime, he's the only leader that's ever, even Ronald Reagan, as great as he was, and he was a freedom first libertarian, but Donald Trump really brings it to the people. He's really Trump, the people. He's about the people. I mean,
if Trump can bring peace between at least one of the countries of Ukraine and Russia, or Israel and
he's gonna
Palestine,
bring peace in all of them, dude. It's going to happen. He's going to.
I believe he belongs on the. I believe he belongs on the Mount Rushmore. I don't care what anybody says.
They might have to do. They might have to do better than that, dude.
Yeah.
They might have to put him on the top of Mount Everest.
Something.
Seriously, or Mount Sinai or something.
Oh, speaking of which, there's a wrestler. His name's Darby Allin. He just climbed to the top of Mount Everest.
Oh, that's a tough one.
I'm like, dang, dude, that's wild, dude. Like, that takes a lot of self-discipline.
I was only kidding about him carving a face on Mount Everest.
No, I'm just saying. But that's like
the truth is, Mount Rushmore is not big enough.
No, that's true. So we're about to show you guys how the liberal media wants to spin it.
All right, this morning, new CNN reporting on the giant 747 President Trump wants the U.S. to accept as a gift from Qatar and then use Air Force One. This is what the president has said on it.
So I think it's a great gesture from Qatar. I appreciate it very much. I would never be one to turn down that kind of an offer. I mean, I could be a stupid person and say, no, we don't want a free, very expensive airplane.
But it turns out there's nuance here. Sources tell CNN it was the Trump administration that made the initial approach. CNN's Alex Marquardt.
Okay, let's throw it out there, right? Let's say it is the Trump administration that wanted to do it. Who cares? What does it matter? Who cares? At the end of the day, when the deal's all said and done, we won. What is it? It doesn't matter who initiated the deal, who brokered the deal, who wanted to come to terms with the deal. The deal's all said and done, and we won. What does it matter if Trump's administration came to the table with the deal? Who cares? What does that matter? That means we had a plan in play.
And a plane for the United States Air Force? How can CNN be? I mean, how can you be mad at that? This guy, he acts like he's upset about it. Bird, look at him.
But
he looks like he's about to shit a brick.
It's because their side didn't do it. That's why they're upset about it. They're upset that their side didn't do it.
Because their side doesn't know how to broker deals. All their side knows how to do is peddle propaganda and race peddling. That's all they know how to do.
Right.
They don't know anything else.
Exactly. It's just wild.
There's not a single Democrat that I can think of in Washington, D.C. who would be smart enough to broker a deal like this. And to be honest with you, I'm not sure there's a lot of Republicans that could have done it either.
There's our question for today. What Democrat could broker a deal like Donald Trump can right now? Let us know down in the comments.
Or has the new reporting.
And I was going to say, if that's too hard for him, if that's too hard for him to figure out,
then give us a Republican.
Give us a Republican.
If you can't give us a Democrat, give us a Republican.
Because the truth be told, I don't think there's anybody like him in Washington, D.C. He is one of a kind.
One of a kind.
One of a kind.
President Donald Trump has talked about a potential deal for a Qatari Boeing 747 to act as Air Force One, as a gesture, a gift from the Qatari royal family, which the U.S. would receive for free, he said. But sources tell my colleagues and me that it was the Trump administration that first made the outreach to Qatar after Trump came into office, that it is in fact the U.S. that made this request of Doha. The administration was told by Boeing, which is making the next generation of Air Force One planes, that the two planes would not.
I just don't understand why the liberal media wants to do this, you guys. Double D, this doesn't make sense. What is the purpose of bashing the man for getting a gift after brokering such a great $1 trillion deal with Saudi Arabia?
The guy could literally cure cancer, and they would call him the Antichrist in the morning for it. So I just, you know what, dude, the liberal media is lost. The legacy liberal media, the mainstream BS media, they have lost all credibility. I mean,
I feel like they lost credibility 20 years ago.
I do too, but I think that their attempt to get it back is even worse than they're losing it. place.
Yeah, dude,
They
because
lost
it's like
their credibility in the first place, but their way of getting it back is, wow. I mean, astoundingly ignorant and stupid. I don't get it.
It's just wild how they think they can spin a narrative, and people are just gonna believe it, and they really will believe it too, you guys. Like a lot of people believe stuff like this. There's literally liberals that are so brain dead, brain fogged. I don't even know, brain rotted, that they think that Trump just got a free plane. They think he got it for himself. They literally think that he got it for himself. These people are so lost.
And just ignorant, man. And the way this guy tells it, he tells it like it's a bad thing. It's like, dude, I mean, honestly, it goes back to my old saying. This is the liberal way. Cut off your arm so you can hit yourself in the face with it.
I guess so.
Arrive until 2027. Trump wanted something sooner, so the Pentagon, with the White House's backing, reached out to Qatar. Boeing had given the administration a list of possible planes that could work as Air Force One in the meantime, and Qatar had one of those planes. The president's Middle East envoy, Steve Witkoff, he also helped facilitate these early meetings. The Pentagon then offered to buy the plane, and Qatar offered to sell it. Now, we're told, the lawyers are still hashing out the details, but the White House is still claiming that this is going to be a donation from Qatar, or as Trump wrote on Truth Social recently, a gift free of charge.
Yeah, right.
Trump had said that a Qatari official had told him, if I can help you, let me do that. Now, publicly, Qatar has not refuted Trump, and in his visit to Doha last week, everything went smoothly. But the real story is certainly more nuanced and different from how...
Well, at least they had to tell the truth. No, you're good. They had to tell the truth within the lie, though. You see how you had to tell the truth within the lie?
Yeah, oh, absolutely. And the truth is, he brokered a trade agreement worth $3.7 trillion. This fucking clown hasn't said it one time.
No, but he's still he's still saying it was overall a good thing, and he did that. He did have to admit that it was a free gift. He had to admit that he couldn't lie about it, because what's said is said. You can't when somebody says something and you quote them, you have to quote them verbatim, or else it's not a real quote.
I mean, Bert, I can't help myself. I really want to put my hand through my camera and grab that dick with ears and just punch him in the face 50 times, dude.
Right.
Seriously. I just want to hold him by his neck and beat him like a goddamn Bobo Dilbert doll.
I just don't understand why they keep getting away with this, honestly. Why you Democrats, you liberals, you progressive left, why you people continue to watch this?
They lie. Communists lie. That's how they spread their message for the last 100 years in the first place. They lie. They promise you the world, and they give you a shit sandwich and then make you appreciate it. Or you go to prison.
Speaking of the liberals, do you remember when Trump caught the coronavirus when he was president the first time?
Oh, yeah.
Do you remember how the liberals were wishing him the worst of everything, that he would go away and he would be done, and basically that would take him out for the rest of his life, right?
Yeah, joke was on them, wasn't it?
Right. But Joe Biden catches, supposedly out of nowhere gets aggressive colon cancer, right? And honestly, prostate cancer. I apologize. Prostate cancer gets the most aggressive.
50% of all men will get.
Right. It gets the most aggressive prostate cancer that they say that you can get, and not one conservative, not one libertarian, not one Republican person that I know personally or at all wished any ill will upon Joe Biden. Not one. This goes to show you the difference between the Democrats and the Republicans, the conservatives and the liberals, the libertarians and the liberals. This just goes to show you the difference between the mindset that these people are so fueled with hatred, anger, and evilness that they are willing to wish death upon people, even if they don't know the person, But if we were to wish death upon Joe Biden, oh, believe me, we wouldn't hear the end of it. You're cruel, you're worthless.
They'd be knocking at our doors, dude. They'd be knocking at our doors, arresting us for hate speech.
So if you guys don't know,
they would be.
If you guys don't know yet, like I said, well wishes to Joe Biden. Hopefully he can see his way through this with it not being the last thing that happens to him.
99.9% chance Joe Biden will die from a heart attack, a stroke, or some kind of other old geriatric mafia ailment that people normally get after the age of 80. Most people don't die from prostate cancer. They usually live it out and die from something else. And that was from several different doctors, by the way.
Right.
They want us to feel sorry for him so that we forget about the fact that he was cognitively uninclined.
Right.
That his brain was basically a dishwasher.
Mush. It was mush. It was mashed potatoes.
Yeah. He was a dishwasher with no dishes and soap.
Exactly. So
he was an empty shell.
I just wanted to end this. I didn't want to leave this out because I felt like it was necessary. He was literally the last president. And, now something that could take him out. I don't want to see nothing bad happen to him. But,
ain't nothing going to bad. Only thing bad that's going to happen to him is that he's, they're probably going to try to keep him alive as long as they can so they can land that $30 million book deal they're trying to get. Okay. This was kind of I guarantee you this whole thing, right? They're releasing this information for two reasons. One, they want the American people to think that he was cognitively there, even though we know he wasn't.
We know he wasn't.
And B, they want to get the pity so that they can sell $30 million worth of books.
Could be.
There is disbelief today at former President Biden's shocking cancer diagnosis.
This is a very serious, aggressive cancer.
The prognosis is grave. Biden's cancer is advanced and aggressive. It has metastasized to the bone. On the 1 to 10 Gleason scale that measures prostate cancer, it's a 9 and is incurable. Now many are asking, why wasn't he diagnosed sooner? After all, as president, he got intensive annual checkups.
Yeah.
This was probably happening for at least 5 years, from the point where it was just localized to the point where it's metastasized.
Republicans today are crying.
So you're telling me within the past 5 years they didn't check him not once at his age? Not one time?
They knew, dude. As soon as they did it, look, I just had my prostate cancer exam a month ago. All they do is the blood work tells them right away.
Here was their plan, right? Their plan was Joe Biden becomes president, he wins. They install Kamala Harris into the presidency with his decline with his health, and this would have been announced probably right around this time. I'd say probably about 4 months into the presidency. They'd probably announce it right about now. Kamala Harris is our president, and we're screwed for the next 3.5 years, maybe even longer, because it could just be done for us, right? So
yes.
So Trump.
Oh, Kamala, we would have been attacked by another country if Kamala was president.
Without a doubt. So Trump smashes Joe Biden so hard they have to pull out of that idea. Mind you, they didn't have a primary. They had zero primary to give you any other choice other than Joe Biden. It was whoever Joe Biden was, that's who it was. And you were picking him, and it was only him. You didn't get a choice. You got nothing. You people are brainwashed, right? So they have
no threat to democracy, Bird. Think about that.
Right.
They literally bypassed the democratic process and call us.
Exactly. So there's no primary, right? And their plan was just to install him so they could install Kamala Harris. So then they had to call an audible because Kamala Harris was still their person that they wanted to install. So they called an audible, ran with her as president, still gave you guys no primary, and you idiots still voted for her.
7 million dipshits came out.
How?
And you know what kills me is honestly, I don't think Joey B would have even gotten 67 million.
No.
But because it wasn't Joe Biden and it was anybody but him at that point, the Democrats came out. They would have stayed home, dude. If Joe Biden was, they would have, because they already knew they were losing. They should have already known that when they picked Kamala too. If they really wanted a chance to win it, they would have asked Josh Shapiro to do it.
Yeah.
But he was too smart.
Honestly,
he saw the shit show. He knew
they should have. They shouldn't have turned against Joe Manchin. Really, they shouldn't have turned against Joe Manchin. He could have gave Trump a run for his money with his personality and the type of person and the type of policies he has. I'm not saying I would have voted for him, but I'm just saying that would at least give Trump a run for his money. Kamala gave Trump no run for his money because she had nothing, no personality, no policies, no nothing. She offered you guys nothing, and you ate it right out of the palm of her hand.
She did, and I don't understand because she was pretty much drunk most of the time, and it was really obvious. I mean,
it was bad, dude.
She's either drunk or really, really stupid. I'm going to give her the benefit of the doubt and say that she was drunk.
I'm not. I'm going to say she's both.
I was going to say she probably really is that stupid.
Donald Trump Jr. is asking, yet another cover-up?
Yes,
according to Biden's medical reports, he was never tested for prostate cancer during the 4 years of his presidency. No PSA results, the blood test that indicates prostate cancer, was ever released.
President Trump just had the test and released the numbers. So did President Obama. Both showed normal results.
We don't have PSA numbers. Does that mean that?
But why wasn't he tested? That's a lie, dude. They're lying. They're lying. I'll guarantee at the beginning of every presidency they have to get tested for that. I'll guarantee.
Dude, if you just go for a normal checkup with your doctor, that's one of the that prostate cancer screen. If you're over the age of 50, they do it once a year.
Yeah, dude. Listen to me.
This is all horseshit. They're lying. They're lying.
They are. These people. If you people are willing to still fall for this shit, you'll fall for anything.
That's right.
They didn't check for it?
Well, likely they've checked for it because almost everyone, even non-presidents, almost everyone has checked for PSA.
According to a statement from his office, Biden was experiencing urinary symptoms. Other symptoms of advanced prostate cancer can include bone pain in the back and blood in the urine. The former president is being treated with hormone therapy, which cuts off the production of testosterone. Other treatments include chemotherapy and radiation.
If left untreated, meaning like we diagnosed him now with metastatic prostate cancer, he would have about 1 to 2 years to live. And now if we treat him, he would have 2 to 4 years to live.
Whoopi Goldberg scoffed at the theory there was a cover-up.
Had this been the case while he was president, there's no way you wouldn't have known.
Right. Yeah.
Because he would have had to have these treatments.
I don't get it, bro. I don't get it. These people are lying.
First of all, they're lying, but the biggest lie isn't even the prostate cancer thing. All right, so they're telling us that because they want us to feel sorry for him and they want to divert from the real fact, which was the guy was a walking peanut. He was an empty shell.
Mush brain.
He was mush brain, yeah. I mean, he had scrambled eggs, whatever you want to call it. That's what was going on in the man's head. So, there was something that I just, all I know is that they should have been telling us about the cognitive stuff.
Yeah.
I want to know the truth. I mean, and I know he was getting those tests too. They're lying about that. I just went to the doctor 3 weeks ago and I had to do all of those blood work exams. So they're so full of it. And I'm 30 years younger than this clown, dude. And you know what? They just want us to feel sorry for him because his legacy is shit. And that's the truth. He has a shit legacy that they helped, articulate and perpetuate. So you know what? Fuck them. They got what they deserved. They're getting what they deserve in return. And you know what? America still got a nice Boeing 747. Which has nothing to do with Joey B, but I just love the fact that we got a free Boeing 747.
Yeah, that's awesome. It's awesome.
I just like the fact. That's the kind of president we have now. We have a true leader who brokers for America. All Joey B was brokering for was himself.
Right.
And his son and his family. And now they're worried about going broke. Well, I hope you go broke, Joey B.
Right.
He's got dementia. He won't even know it.
I have a video here I made about a year ago, maybe a little longer than a year ago. And so this shows that he wasn't in the right mind state when he was president. These are just clips from throughout his presidency. So this is a little compilation I made. It's funny. We'll check this out and watch it. And you guys will see the cognitive decline throughout the years, not just more recently.
Black Indian with Indian background woman in American history to be vice president.
I mean, look at this, guys. Look at him. Look at him.
Freeze that, man. That's dementia. Prostate cancer don't make you stupid.
No.
It just makes it hard to sit down.
Thank you. You have a seat, take it. Tim, thank you for the introduction. I got to meet his twins and his wife.
He almost said he has dementia.
Yeah, he did. He literally did.
He almost said it. He almost said it right
He's
there.
here. I tell you what, they're going to keep him here. And thanks to the outstanding senators, Tammy Baldwin of Wisconsin, Tammy Gawan, and Amy Klobuchar and Tina Smith from the state of Minnesota. If I have all three of them on my side, I don't want
creepy.
Fucking weirdo, man.
This,
what a weirdo, dude.
This is not a person with the normal mental health.
No, this is not. That is not normal. That is some real goofy shit, man. That is straight up goofy shit.
Very goofy. Very goofy.
Talk about something that doesn't get enough attention. The progress we're making to invest in America and American workers and American products. To invest in America. That's what we're doing. Here's this morning's headline. The American people. America now is the strongest growth.
Because investing in China.
The lowest inflation.
Right, that's all he was doing.
In the world.
Oh, in Ukraine.
Because of you.
Yeah.
I was raised in a household where we had 3 bedrooms. That was a nice home.
Nice home.
Split level home and a new development of 40 homes in suburbia with four kids and a grandpa living with us.
And Corn Pop was a bad dude.
It's outdated in design. Tight curves have led to higher than average car accident rates.
Like, this dude's literally babbling about nothing for real. And I bet you these people are probably like, dude, who cares? What are you talking about right now?
You know what's the worst of it, dude? He's talking about growing up in that 3-bedroom house and apparently there was lead paint in the house because it's showing.
Yeah.
Traffic congestion.
That's for sure. 1,000%.
But it never got done until today.
Is somebody talking in his ear right now? Is that what's going on? You see how he just did that? I think he has a little bug in his ear and someone's telling him what to say.
Absolutely.
Because like that thing about the 3-bedroom house, he doesn't remember that.
No, hell no, dude.
He does not remember that. That's just a story that he said that somebody remembered that to constantly make him say.
And Corn Pop was a real bad dude.
Bad dude.
My staff wondered what the hell I was doing. I talked to the leader of South Korea. I said, you have a thing called Samsung. You make a lot of these computer chips. Come to America. Well, not only they, but a total of $50 billion is coming to America, building factories in America. In America. In Internet today. In Wisconsin and Minnesota, we're investing $2.5 billion.
Like these spurts of yelling, going very, very quiet, it doesn't make any sense. Other than the fact...
Where's that $50 billion in investment in the factories he's talking about? Oh, I know where it's at. It's with the $60 billion they spent to build the charging stations and only built 7 of them on the interstates.
It's in their pockets. Dude, that's where it's at.
Dude, I know where it went. It's Zelensky. That $60 billion went over to Ukraine. That's where it went.
Money.
And of course, the Biden family.
Yep. Oh, you know they got their cut.
In high-speed internet. And we're going to say...
Hold on, here it comes, guys. Here it comes.
Say more than 600,000 families in these 2 states.
Here it comes.
$30 a month in internet.
You're going to spend $2.5 billion to save people $30 a month? Are you serious right now? Like that's doing something good? Why don't you use it to do something real with it? Like invest into the communities and build stores and build places for these people to work and build opportunities for them. You're going to invest to save people $30 a month? Are you serious with the way grocery prices are right now? Is this real? Dude, these people are just pathetic and they eat anything up.
Dude, it's all bullshit anyway. Not a single thing he said up there actually happened.
No.
Like I said, not a single one. Dude, like, they $60 billion. The only thing that billions of dollars actually went and did something was it filled Zelensky's bank account and all the elites in Ukraine. And filtered back through Burisma to his son.
Now, mind you, this wasn't meant to talk bad about Joe Biden or anything. This was just meant to show you that the cognitive decline, the whatever's been going on with him has been going on with him for longer than they want to let you think. But we all know
it's the greatest cover-up of all time.
This is 2 years ago, and it shows how terrible he was talking and speaking and just everything. And these people just eat this up time after time after time, and it just doesn't make any sense to me.
You can't fix stupid, Bird.
I guess
you can't
not.
Fix stupid.
I guess not.
And you know what? And the Democratic Party is always going to have that faithful, loyal sheep of idiots.
Yeah. Hey.
And their noses will be so far up Pelosi and Schumer's ass that they'll be able to smell his breakfast.
We can't fix it.
We can't fix it because we just can't fix it.
We can't fix it, but we can preach it.
We can definitely preach it, and we can keep the truth coming because the reality is, for 4 years, we almost lost our country.
We really did.
That's a fact.
We really did.
We almost lost it.
And we almost lost it for a lot longer than 4 years if Kamala would have won that.
Yeah, I knew that wasn't. I wasn't worried.
No, I wasn't worried
about
it either.
He fucked up so much during his presidency that anybody that was, if they really wanted to win this presidency,
it was too big to rig.
It was too big to rig, so they would have had to take a shot at it with Josh Shapiro. But Josh Shapiro knew that if he followed Joey B, he was done. He was cooked.
So
his political career comes to an end.
So did you see? Were you over here when we were? I was watching Bernie Sanders on the Andrew Schultz podcast a little bit, like kind of seeing the clips.
Yeah.
So he said something. He said something interesting to me, and it kind of made me think. He said that he has no plans on running for president. I think he's trying to groom AOC to run for president.
Absolutely, what he's doing. And the polls right now have her at 40%.
Yeah. I think he's trying to groom AOC to be president.
Well, not quite 40%. It was more like 38 point something. But I average up to the nearest 10th. So we're going to say 40% right now. Now, I don't think she'll win.
No, not at all.
I don't think she'll win. But I have noticed one thing about AOC. She has distanced herself from the squad. All right. And she's her and Bernie both actually are because of the backlash they've been getting for the Fight the Oligarchy campaign and tour. Yeah, they're attracting crowds.
Right.
They're also pissing off donors.
Right.
So, a lot of those donors are like, hey, you need to cut it with the rhetoric, bro.
Right.
But or you can fund yourself. And he's rich, but he ain't that
rich.
kind of rich.
He ain't that rich, yeah, for sure.
No, he ain't that kind of wealthy.
Right.
He's what you would call very well off.
Right. Yeah, for sure.
But he's not the filthy rich.
Yep.
He's just not. And he still needs them and he's going to be 87 years old in 28.
Yeah, that's true. That is very true.
So the best he has is to groom AOC, pull her away from the squad because they bring her down.
Right.
Basically Bernie's giving her a lesson in friendship.
Yeah.
Surround yourself with do-nothing morons. You're going to be a do-nothing moron.
Yep.
Surround yourself with smart people who are achievers and goal-setting and successful.
Yep.
There's a better chance you're going to be goal-setting, achieving, and successful yourself.
There you go. So you know what, everybody? That is you guys. You guys surrounding yourselves with us. We appreciate it. We really love the fact that you guys come, hang out, watch our videos. It is very, very appreciated. On that note, I think we're going to end it. I really want to give. Yeah, go ahead.
Let's not forget to remind them to subscribe and hit that like button and make sure they turn those notifications on.
Yeah, because that's the free way to help the channel grow as big as possible. Also, comment down in the comments below. Let us know if there's something that you want us to talk about on the next episode. We'll have no problem as long as it has to do within what we talk about, talking about it. But I want to give my thanks to God because without him, None of this is possible. My thanks to Double D. My thanks to my family. Also, yesterday was my mother's birthday, the day of recording this, so I want to say happy birthday to my mother. And
happy birthday, Kay.
Yep, we really appreciate you guys stopping by. Double D, your final thoughts.
My final thoughts is I'm not going to change my mind on Joey B. I still believe he was cognitively inclined, and there's nothing that MSNBS is going to tell me that's different.
Yep.
With that, as always, Bert, I'd like to thank you for taking the time for us to do our show tonight. Thank our audience for sticking around and to the very end here. But most importantly, I would like to thank my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, for giving me the opportunity to bring the message to you today in the first place. And with all that, good night, y'all.
All right, everybody. Have a great evening. Peace.